Hello, I'm Ed Spicer, and this is www.spicyreads.org. In January 2012, John Corey Whaley, author of the Morris Debut Award winner Where Things Come Back, accepted his award and spoke to those attending the combined Morris nonfiction reception sponsored by YALSA. Enjoy.
It's got weight to it.
Heft.
Good grief. Wow. I actually have a speech prepared. I'm really glad. So I should probably start by saying that Thursday was my birthday. And I feel sorry for all of my other birthdays from now on. They will never compete to this weekend. Okay, I'm not going to go unscripted because it would just be a catastrophe. Wow, you're all so beautiful. I haven't talked to you already. Please mind me. I'll be awkward for just a minute, but we'll get over it. All right, so I'm gonna try. Okay. Before I get sappy and overly confident in my rhetoric, I should thank the several amazing individuals to which I owe the past year of my life. I first want to thank Ken Wright. I called him agent extraordinaire. He told me it would take 6 to 7 weeks to read my book, and he called me 6 days later. And that's, something that I don't think happens often, and it was really crazy. To my editor, Nimrata Tripathi, I call her my literary soulmate, and that's exactly what she is. Her passion and wisdom made me fall back in love with Where Things Come Back. I had written it 3 years before getting a contract, and she reminded me of why I loved the story so much and why I wrote the story. And so, endless thanks to her. I'm so nervous. I also have a cold, so excuse this voice. I usually sound really high-pitched and creepy. And I also want to thank Paul Crichton, Sina Consol, Michelle, Lala, the best publicity marketing team in the business, for making sure that bookstores and libraries and everyone all over didn't ignore my little book about a boy and his brother and a bird. And I want to thank Justin Chanda and John Anderson at Simon & Schuster for believing in this weird little story, and for Michael McCarty for designing a book cover that screams Arkansas with beauty and simplicity. I am in love with my book cover to this day. And of course to everyone else at Athenaeum and Simon & Schuster for their tireless work on this book. I will forever sing your praises, and I will never forget the grace and genuine love that you all share for your work. And lastly, to my fellow finalists, your books are why I write and why I read. Stories filled with adventure and mystery and heartache and angst. To be on the list with you has been my greatest honor, and I can only wish for such convergences with brilliance in the future. And I want to say a special note to Guadalupe, that speech was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for those words, they were beautiful. I teared up. And now to the part where I ramble. Sure, great. I get to be a writer, and I cannot adequately explain to you all how it feels to say that and have it be the truth. Have meaning to it. Because for so many years I was the guy who also writes books on the side, and I was the guy who started things and didn't finish them, and I was that guy from that small town where you can dream big but it's never going to come true. And I can tell you right now, especially today, that my life is a constant state of shock. I wake up every day and I remind myself that I get to be what I've always wanted to be. That I get to tell stories and that people actually read them. And every day I feel more blessed than I know I deserve to feel. When I wrote Where Things Come Back, I had no idea that I was writing YA. I'm sorry to say. I didn't really consider the audience for the book, only the story that I wanted to tell. The story about a kid who feels stuck in a small southern town and how he has to grow up even when the world around him tries to make that impossible. I never meant to write a story about faith or loss or hope, but that's kind of what happened. That's what happened when I became obsessed with an extinct woodpecker and an obscure book of the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible. Surprised me as much as it does. And as it turns out, I wrote a YA novel, and I I've discovered that there's no other community I would rather be a part of. Because there's no other group of people whose passion and love for books is so contagious and beautiful and sincere. You can see it on your faces, and it's amazing. So thank you, people of Hawaii. You booksellers, you teachers, you bloggers, and you librarians. Thank you for knowing that being a teenager doesn't mean you can't connect to literature on the same levels, if not more levels, than adults can. Your belief in kids and words and storytelling makes people like me never give up in our efforts to try and provide new stories and new ways to tell those stories. And to the teenagers of the world, the cool kids who run into things while they're walking and reading books, thank you for your enthusiasm and your honesty and your courage. Telling your stories, from the painful ones to the hilarious ones, is the most fulfilling thing I can ever think of doing. And lastly, thank you to the Morris Committee and to YALSA for this surprising and humbling honor. To be among the amazing writers who have previously won and been up for this award is truly unbelievable. It's sort of hard for me to fathom even being mentioned in the same breath as the late great L.K. Madigan. So, I'll go off a little bit. Did I write that permission? I wrote most of this book in a camper in Arkansas. And that's really funny, but true. And I was someone who was doing something he shouldn't be doing. I was a school teacher, and I love school teachers. Being a school teacher gives you immense respect for school teachers. But it does, because you have to be an amazing, patient, creative, tireless person. And I think that I'm more built for sleeping late and writing words. I loved a lot of my 5 years of being a public school teacher, but it was sort of like living a life that I knew I shouldn't be living. And to be able to come here and see all of you and to, have all of these things happen is validation that I made the right decision somewhere, and I've made the right call. And if you read the book, and if you've read the book, you know that fate and chance and faith, everything has a part in it. And it's so strange to write something that you want to give a message, and then for your life to become also a symbol of the same message. I had given up hope that I could be a happy adult with what I was doing, and now I get to be surrounded by brilliant, passionate people who, completely changed my life forever. So you cannot make up a story that good. Thank you so much.
Once again, that was John Corey Whaley accepting his William C. Morris Debut Award for Where Things Come Back. I'm Ed Spicer, and this is www.spicyreads.org. Thanks for listening.